Welcome back to OPC Season 2, Week 1, Day number 2. We're about to head into our second match of the evening. I'm Kevin AVRL Walker, and it's just me tonight. So if you're just joining us, it is just me and you for the rest of the OPC season. Well, it's just for tonight, actually, really. We've just had one match finish up already. About to start Hong Kong Attitude now against Mega Thunder. So Hong Kong Attitude coming into Season 2 with a couple of changes on this side. A couple of role swaps as well. Nothing too extreme on the side. Wonder who we're going to see, because we are seeing now Randy from Season 1 who didn't get any screen time. He didn't get any games. We didn't see any matches of him play, but we did get to see a little bit of Randy yesterday. We're going to see a little bit more of him tonight. And Mega Thunder, the revamped Fireball roster from Season 1. 5 of the original Fireball members returning, with the addition of 3 new members in Moffat, Elk, and Graceful, who previously played in Contenders Season 1 qualifiers across teams like Evil Geniuses, and you guys get paid. Coach Pure from Splice as well. So Mega Thunder, interesting start yesterday. We're going to have a few words from both sides before we get things over. So
good luck, Fan. I want to say something. Can you come closer?
他想要这一点。
Good luck, man. I love you.
好直接，好直接。
I feel like Mango didn't quite expect that coming in.
OK， 这样刚刚那个 Obuto 他的那个肢体语言已经表达得很明白。芒果仔，你有什么想回应他的？
他在我的面下毒了。
在你的面下毒。
I think.
对，今天就解这个毒。
好，今天就会解开这个毒，但是双方开始之
Okay, I
前，
feel
我们
like
先帮他握个手就好了。
he was a little bit surprised by that, so he wants to
好的，谢
to
谢。
resolve whatever's going on between those two today. So I didn't quite catch Mango's side of things, but definitely caught a little bit off guard there. I know Puto's a bit of a cheerful guy. He had some pretty cute moments with Trill in last season. And Puto in general, you just know he's a lovely dude. You just know he's the kind of guy that you'll have to meet and have a little bit of fun with. But yeah, Mega Thunder coming in, a little bit of a new lineup, a little bit of a revamped roster as well. 5 original members from Fireball, like we said. The original Fireball roster finishing in 6th place from OPC Season 1, so they're looking for a little bit more. We did see, for those of you that might have caught a little bit of a glimpse of some of the team members of Mega Thunders, their thoughts on the current season. Graceful has said that he's looking for a top 4 placement. Looking for Mega Thunder to make at least top 4. I think the team has the potential. There are some definite juggernauts now in this league. Flashballs, of course, returning as the Season 1 champions. Blank as the runner-ups. Ardiant, the Korean challengers. And AHQ already looking very strong on the side as well. Hong Kong Attitude, another team that is looking really strong after last night's performances, specifically against Ardiant. I think any team that can take it up to Ardiant is looking good. And we're about to see the rosters in a moment. Side by side now, Hong Kong Attitude will of course be the home team, Mega Thunder as the away team. As we get to know the rosters a little bit more, if you're on the home side, you get map picks 1, 3, and 5. The away side gets map picks 2 and 4. There he is, Mango Jai from the Hong Kong Attitude side. We're rocking the Hong Kong Esports shirts for Season 2 so far. The interesting thing to note about the Hong Kong Attitude lineup is they've mostly kept the same players with the addition of Mui. There he is. Mui you'll recognize from Talent Esports in the OPC qualifiers, as well as Team Hong Kong from the Overwatch World Cups in the Shanghai stage, who has previously played with Mango Jai on that World Cup team. Shailin, one of the star DPSs on the Hong Kong Attitude side, one of the big players from last season, also one of the big players from last night who really pulled his own weight against Team Ardian. There's a Ting, the main tank player. Next to him is also Randy. Like I said, Randy is one of the substitute players from last season that didn't get any game time, but is now starting to get a little bit more. We are seeing a lot more out of Randy. He's playing Flex now. He's playing the crucial Diva role. We saw a little bit of Zaya from him yesterday, so he isn't playing the main tank anymore. He was a main tank from last season, despite not seeing him. Now he's coming in as a Flex. Holiday Cow, otherwise known as Jin Cow from Season 1, is currently on the bench while Randy's taking it up as CQB on the side as at Lucio support. And now we're going into the other side of the competition. Graceful, one of the new additions to the Mega Thunder lineup. We have 2 North Americans. Graceful is from Sweden, so North American as well as European representation in the OPC officially brings up the amount of representation in terms of players and countries up to 8, including the original 6 from the teams as well. That was on your left, W1D2 as well. Players that you'll recognize from the Thai national team in Overwatch World Cup as well. Moffat sitting right next to him. Moffat had a great game yesterday on the Tracer specifically, trading pulse bomb kills with counterpart Kant in that Machi versus Mega Thunder lineup. Apuro, of course, one of the stars of Fireball from Season 1, one of the stars of the Thai World Cup team. Nice dab there from Kurlos as well, right next to him. These guys had a lot of fun last season. These guys pulled a lot of gags. Kurlos wants to move on. He's like, get that camera off me. Straight on to the next player, and that is going to be Elk, otherwise known as Alkia, one of the other North American players coming in. So North American players having a bit of a run through on the contenders rosters, and now dipping their toes into OPC, trying out Asia for a little bit. Of course, the coach that you didn't quite get to see there, Pure, from the US, from Team Splice. This team has had a little bit of time together, boot camping in Bangkok. Now they've come to Taiwan. They've been playing together in Taiwan as well. So the team question was, how much practice have these guys had? How much time have they had to gel together? They've had that boot camping time now moving in. They have remained and retained that original Fireball core of the 3 members that are currently on that starting lineup, which is Apuro, Tidawat, and Kurlos, and of course Rocket, and also Inzina currently on the bench, which also makes the team quite flexible because Inzina and Rocket still can make an appearance here. Inzina was, of course, a Tracer player from Season 1 who really came into his own. Inzina played a little bit of Soldiers, or a little bit of Pharah. And for Fireball, while they did have some issues, they had some roster issues. They had Tank was probably that one spot that they really struggled with. They couldn't tell if they wanted Zelfix on there. They got Rocket on there, a little bit different. We actually have the map pick coming through now as well. I'll go Attitude picking Lijiang Tower. So that's what we're going to start things off with. And if you take a closer look here, Control, Hybrid, Assault, Escort, and Hybrid again. Hong Kong Attitude is the home side, get to pick the Control, the Assault, and the final Hybrid, with Mega Thunder as the away team, picking the Hybrid and the Escort. And of course, if you pick the map, you also pick the starting side, so a decent advantage to the home team. That additional map pick does indeed come in handy. So far, we haven't seen any match go to the full best of 5. We've just seen our first 4-map series, which was at AHQ versus Machi series, ended on Dorado. And this one is going to be very interesting because Hong Kong Attitude had that great performance that I talked about against Ardion yesterday. They went to 3 maps. Ardion did 3-0 there, but it wasn't the most comfortable 3-0 from Ardion. You got to say, if you're ever going to have a close 3-0 series, that's about as close as you can really get it. And Ardion had a few words to say after that, which they mentioned, you know, this isn't our final form. We've got more to show than this. There's more to this team than what has been displayed so far. So don't take us lightly, and we're going to find out exactly how far Ardion can take that in the next match, which is going to be Ardion versus Libilant Supreme. But for the time being, not getting too far ahead of ourselves, it is still Hong Kong Attitude versus Mega Thunder, and the map I'm pretty sure was Lijiang Tao, so I'm excuse the intro, but I'm fairly certain it was Lijiang Tao that we'll be going to. And of course that was Hong Kong Attitude's pick as well. So seeing out of Hong Kong Attitude, what kind of adaptations might they make? So, sorry, it was Nepal. I'm blind. Never mind, it is definitely Nepal. But yeah, Hong Kong Attitude, we're seeing, you know, Randy coming out of the woodworks here. Sub-player that you never saw for the entire season. Holiday Cow, who was the captain of the team, if I'm correct about that one. Also the primary shot caller, now onto the bench. He's definitely going to be watching this, but we'd like to see what happens if Holiday Cow does return to the roster. But Mui's definitely been holding his weight. This is one of the few players on the Hong Kong Attitude side who had a lot to show versus Ardion, but now against Mega Thunder. Mega Thunder's opportunity to come back from yesterday's loss against Machi in the opening fight now. Both teams running the same composition. Slightly better positioning from Mega Thunder as they take the pole position here. 3 players already going down, 4 players going down. Apuro picking up 3 of those kills, and Apuro played a lot of the Sombra, so we started out with Sombra and Lijiang Tower. Apuro was playing that. You see a lot of other picks coming up from Apuro, but Soldier was definitely one of his main heroes that he stuck onto from Season 1 that was quite exciting to see. So glad to see that coming back in now. Actually, Hong Kong Attitude snuck in a Kappa in there somewhere. Might have missed it, but Hong Kong, but Mega Thunder only managed to just get the cap on through now, so they're not going to start things off with much of a huge advantage in terms of progress, at least going through. Hong Kong Attitude now take the lower approach from the side. Shailin as well for that flank side. No ultimates in play, just so you do have to be concerned a little bit about Apudo building up his first ultimate. He takes down his counter, but Elk, so early kills onto the support. So one of the issues with Hong Kong Attitude, at least in the last match, or rather Mega Thunder in the last match, double kill on the pulse bomb. Mui, Moffat rather opening things up. Moffat, one of the big players from Mega Thunder from yesterday, really opening things up. 3 kills, Mui down as well. It should be a pretty good flip over. Actually, no, it's not a flip over. Mega Thunder already had it, but it should be a really good hold now for Mega Thunder. 43% and counting. Hong Kong Attitude yet to find an opening. And you've really looked towards Shailin here. You look towards him, and you look towards Mui as well. Mango Jai and CQB, they were starting to click kills. See, Mango Jai was one of the guys that really got kills against Ardian yesterday. Still looking for those early pickups now from him, now in Zindiati here. Shailin gets the kill to Curls. So Curls was one of the players that did die a lot early on Mega Thunder against Machi. A little bit of that coming back to haunt him now. Mui so low. Got to be careful with that. Puro will snipe him down. The Helix rockets. Mango Jai with the jump from T1 as well. This cap is still going the way of Mega Thunder. Definitely ultimates into play here, but they're still waiting for this Transcendence from a respawning Curlis, and this is definitely hurting the Mega Thunder team because you want them to hold on. Upuda finally goes down to Shailin, and all of that off the back of one crucial pickup on the Curlis. You can imagine if Curlis was still alive and the Transcendence was in play, there is no way Hong Kong Attitude could get those kills that they just did get. See what falls down as well. This is going to be a stall that's going to try and last as long as possible, really rack up that advantage. But you really look at Mega Thunder's lineup as well. You look at the ultimates they have. 6 so far. We're still yet to see the defensive ultimates come out of play. And, you know, you've had a lot of deaths now. Curlis is definitely back into the fight. You have Elk with a sound barrier as well. You're sitting on a lot of ultimates here, a lot of tools for Mega Thunder to use, but 99%, I think you'll take it. I think for 99% to 0, you got a lot of room to work with now. You just got to make it count. You know what? Eats a pulse bomb, does get healed back up very quickly, so don't find too much out of that. Moffat's probably been the other tracer in the tournament so far that's had very consistent pulse bombs. We will be looking for that. Does stick that one on. No kill collected. Transcendence kills everyone right back up. Double Transcendence from both sides, with Sound Barrier. Mega Thunder looking to leverage this a little bit, really push them towards a victory as Elk picks up a double. Nice kill to both supports. That's actually going to make a big difference here. But a DPS on the side of Mega goes down as well, so still really, really even. Shot of movie as well, just looking for the picks on the sideline. For Mega Thunder, they don't have too much time to waste here. They have to be able to climb back in. Movie and Shailin definitely picking up the pace, and Mega Thunder have to reassess this approach a little bit. While they did get both the supports, Elk got a kill onto both Mango Jai and CQB. Then it's up to the DPSs, then it's up to Moffat, it's up to Apudo to really take advantage of the lack of healing to secure the additional kills on the Hong Kong Attitude side. You can see that Mui was mainly uncontested on the side flank there. This is really cheeky. You can even just put down a pulse button. One clip will be enough to take it. Didn't even have to get headshots in there. Shailin high there, yep, high there to Moffat. Moffat didn't check his corners, unfortunately. Because if you remember yesterday's broadcast, Moffat had that highlight reel of him just dying over and over again, which is really unfortunate. Could be another big play here. Didn't connect the pulse bomb with anybody, unfortunately. So that's going to be something that Shailin wishes he really got. Some more ultimates do come in from Hong Kong Attitude. Mega Thunder, they are behind, and they do got to get something done here. Ultimates being used by Hong Kong Attitude, but they are still losing members. They're losing a lot of members. Mega Thunder can't climb it back in here. Only death is going to be a Puro, but they're going to need a lot more than that because T1's picking up kills now. Mui with the last chance tactical visor only finds himself a Winston. Discorded targets onto CQB. This should be a nice cleanup now. Mega Thunder taking away Shrine. Mega Thunder, that was pretty back and forth, I gotta say. It wasn't super comfortable, but I think once they got the flow of things moving along, they got that 99% really quickly. The two supports now having a bit of discussion between themselves as well. Me checking with the staff. Hopefully no problems. I know there was a few problems in the Machi versus Mega Thunder game yesterday. A couple of the players had some technical difficulties, so hopefully that's all been fixed up now. There is some discussion between the team members. I think you've got to be really concerned as one of the issues that plagued Mega Thunder, at least against that the Machi game, was the fact that Kurlos was the primary target. They got taken out very quickly, efficiently, easily by Machi. Gotta be concerned that Hong Kong Attitude could be doing the same thing. And this Hong Kong Attitude lineup, make no mistake, is a threatening one. If we look at yesterday's results, if that's any indication of the strength of Hong Kong Attitude. Don't forget, this team also finished 4th place in Season 1 in the regular season play, narrowly missing out on the playoffs position of top 3. Playoffs this season is going to be a top 4, so if Hong Kong Attitude continue their run through, they're looking like a top 4 team already. But Mega Thunder, they're a team that wants to be a top 4 team. Certainly climbing up from an 0-3 loss against Machi yesterday. They want to turn this into a win, get themselves onto the scoreboard, really start to challenge the teams that already do have wins. Hong Kong Attitude's kind of in that boat as well. They don't currently have a win. They went down 0-3 against Ardeon yesterday as well. That means both teams, at least score-wise, in a difficult position. These early stages do count for a lot. Remember, double round robin means you will get to play every team twice. You need to start collecting those points now if you want them. Here comes both Winstons, jumping straight at each other. Nothing too strange here. Exactly the same lineup. Last time we saw Mega Thunder take very good early positioning of the Shrine. Do they do that again? Look to Apudo for that. Apudo was one of the key members that secured that early positioning for Mega Thunder on Shrine. And do already see Hong Kong Attitude somewhat backed up. The high ground advantage does go to Mega Thunder, at least for the time being. Long range. Wow, what a pickoff from Apudo. That's exactly the opening you need for your Mega Thunder. Now you've got to press the go button. This is about where you can start picking up additional kills. Apudo already wrapping himself around onto the actual point itself. It's contested, but not for very long. Moffat chases down Shailin, and all off the kill, all off of 1 kill onto Mui. That's all it required for Mega Thunder to really get in position to pressure Hong Kong Attitude out. You don't need a lot of kills here. This is very calculated Overwatch from both sides. Hong Kong Attitude not taking very many losses, and Mega Thunder winning fights without having to overextend themselves, overexert themselves very much at all. Angajai about to hit up an ultimate very quickly now, very quick transcendence, much quicker than Kurlos, but Apudo already sitting on that tactical visor, so it's good that Mangojai has a response when he needs it. Progress time, it does check up. One more. Transcendence comes out probably a little earlier than Hong Kong Attitude would have preferred here. Responding Transcendence from the other side as well. Just making sure Mega Thunder don't lose any sort of presence here. Pudo goes down to a Ting, which is a real shame. In fact, Ting getting himself a double kill. This could be the end of Mega Thunder. I think the point's going to go over to the other side. So, really good opening, I believe, from Mega Thunder, forcing out an early Transcendence from Mangojai. They have Apudo's tactical visor they could have leveraged, but a Ting just went straight in there. Didn't really get to see his perspective. But a double kill into the back line, especially against Apudo with the tech visor, that's not what you want as Mega Thunder. They had an advantage, they had a lead. They needed to get that one going. Moffat going down means they will have to wait just a little bit. It's starting to look a little bit like Shrine, where Mega Thunder have the early lead. Mega Thunder went up to 99% in Shrine. They're at least not going to get there now, so Hong Kong Attitude do have that extra time and extra broom to play with. Can't be too complacent either. Moffat going down quite quickly to Mui, so yet again, Mega Thunder have to just pause for the time being, wait for these players. Constantly losing one player in these opening skirmishes. I mean, you haven't really started a fight, you've already lost a player. This is just seconds off the clock, and each second counts for a % of progress. And after waiting now 2 fights worth of deaths, Hong Kong Attitude nearly catch up in terms of progress, and now this is going to be the commit. Sound barrier coming in for both sides. Shining waiting for his pulse bomb, but trying to pressure out on the side anyway. You can actually Moffat really deep into the back line of the other team. He has to recall out and just got into a lot of danger there. And finally, Apudo gonna be able to use that tactical visor. He needs to find a lot of kills because he's already lost two team members. Pushed off the side, or rather suicide off the side. A lot of members going off. Team kill, the gong goes out, the horn blows out. And already now Hong Kong Attitude really taking this game and running with it. Mega Thunder had such a great start. A good opening of Apudo taking out Mui with a well-placed Helix Rocket. Shiloh, we're going to see this game. Should be a stick. It does get spotted. Ooh, very dangerous positioning. Has to use all 3 blinks to get out of that one. Just casually tosses a pulse bomb, and I don't think he thought too much about that. A little bit concerning play from Shiloh, but well spotted by Graceful on the other side. Did check his corners on that one. Something Moffat didn't do on Shrine. Graceful did learn for his teammate instead. We are in the overtime, and for Mega Thunder, They had about 5 members alive there, so I'm not too sure why they didn't really get on the point there. That's a little bit disappointing. I think you can see it on the players' faces. They're definitely not too happy with that because they had enough members to contest the point. It wasn't a situation where they were sort of knocked off the point, someone CC'd them off, they didn't get grabbed off. You know, I think that's all on them. That was all on the players not realizing, wait, who's actually touching this point because we're not called C9, that's not our team. Hi, City. So Mega Thunder now down one, and Hong Kong Attitude get a bit of time to breathe here. We're going to go into Village now, so remember, best of 3 is what we're working with here in the OPC. We're no longer doing best of 5s, which I can appreciate. I think there was a very rare mistake from Mega Thunder and a very easy mistake to fix that they need to be able to look at now. Going to have a lot of time to look at that if you don't take away a map win. I think the early momentum from the map wins will be really important. Louis for his first pick. Gets into the danger zone, flies out of the danger zone as well, well piloted. So they're getting the first pick of the game. Again, as per usual, Puro picking up his second one. That looked like an air rocket from Puro, actually a nice well-placed air helix rocket onto a flying movie. He's trying to uppercut himself into the air after taking down a mech. Graceful. And once again, Mega Thunder, once they get these early picks, once they get the first couple of picks, they're not a team that appears to chase for too much more. Definitely a team that goes for the objective before anything else. Curlis going down early, something we've seen in the Mega versus Machi game. So let's get traded back though, so Moffat is doing a bit of work here. He is definitely pulling weight on his team. Very close to that pulse bomb, one of the few members that has those consistent pulse bomb along with Cat. I feel like actually end up using here. Might just look to delay, not even going to look to delay, actually just get on with his life. I think I'll be happy with that. Sputter gets taken down in the final moments. Has been still a difficult road. This does look a little bit like Sanctum, where Thunder have somewhat of a decent start again, very similar to Sanctum, where they just get a couple kills, 1 kill, maybe 2 kills. Don't overextend themselves. Get the cap, but they do get the cap flipped over. Sound barrier now committed by Honk Attitude. Now this is their chance to get aggressive. Apudo caught a little bit with his pants down. Tactical Visor's not going to find a lot. He'll probably lose his life if he's not careful. Excuse me. Curlis, first one going down very early. Moffat going to take a dive down the side as well. So once again, Mega Thunder just got to reset here. They don't lose too many, so that's sort of good news for them. They don't lose a lot, but they did spend ultimate set. Apudo couldn't find anything directly found at Ting, so I think Ting has definitely done a lot of work. You actually remember on, I believe it was Shrine, it's either Shrine or Sanctum, where Apudo got the double kill onto both Curlis and Apudo. Moffit's already below half, and that's definitely concerning. He has to immediately go for a recall play. The sound barrier so far hasn't achieved too much as the Transcendence does come out to follow, so defensive ultimates for Mega Thunder, staying alive, but also not getting kills, and that's an issue. If you're staying alive and not getting kills, then you're not winning these fights, and eventually the other team does overpower you. Mango goes down, but it is Mui's turn to make things happen. The Dragon Blade already collects 2. A lot of return kills. Apudo kills himself in there somewhere. It does look like Mega Thunder is coming out on top, but only just. Not a lot of members alive for Hong Kong Attitude. 80% is what they get, and Mega Thunder now trailing by a decent amount, but not an insurmountable amount, as they can climb back into this game, but they need a couple ultimates. They need a bit of tactical visor from Apudo. They need to protect the backline as well. Curlis, remember, he's the one that's getting picked out a lot here. Elk sometimes as well, but for Curlis in particular, got to keep this man alive. Apudo's now on 95-ish%, nearly got that 100. Really got to make something done here. Ting, one of the big problems. Apudo taking down Curlis, down again, unfortunately. For Shailin, well-placed pulse bomb. He gives the tag visor. Needs to get a kill here. Does find Mui, so that's part of the issue that has been dealt with. Hong Kong Attitude might just let this one go. So Hong Kong Attitude is a team that so far, by virtue of Mega Thunder not opting to chase too hard, Hong Kong Attitude have lost the majority of the fights that they have lost, but without losing too many members. They really look to Muffet to get something big done here. One of the players that does kills on pulse bomb. Let's see who he sticks. Looking for a good stick on just about anybody. Doesn't need to stick there. Get a kill on Movie is really good. Movie has been a bit of a problem for Mega Thunder so far. Early Transcendence will keep this team alive. That's not going to hit anybody, unfortunately, so we're going to have to look for kills elsewhere. No other ultimates really coming up online. Elk needs to stay alive here. If we can get the sound barrier, that's when Mega Thunder can play. If Mega Thunder lose this cap, they're going to be in such a difficult spot because Hong Kong Attitude already sitting on 81. Elf doesn't live long enough to get the grace to get the sound barrier down. which means the cap does flip over. So the other thing about Mega Thunder is they don't overstay, and they're not at the point where they're really trying to push the cap any further. I suppose at 94%, you're not going to delay much longer. You do want to get that close, and you want to get that close respawn with the rest of your team to make sure everyone respawns together. And they're going to have a final chance now. Do not have a repeat of Sanctum where no one got in the point. Someone does trigger the overtime. Now, got to keep it going. That sound barrier from the last fight does get used this time around. They got to get something done with this. Chaos Transcendence does get it just in time. He nearly died. That's going to give Mega Thunder the fuel, the mileage, the weapons they need to continue this fight onwards. Picks himself up, Mango Jai. A lot of members down in Hong Kong Attitude. The cap should be going down 99 to 99. Mega Thunder will be picking up their first map of the OPC Season 2. Mighty Elephants it is. Now there it is. Feeling a lot better about that map, feeling a lot happier, feeling a lot more calm. And even I say probably a little bit relieved because that could have still gone either way. And there it is, Moffat's just smiling on his face. You gotta feel good about taking up your first map of the season so far. And it is a good start. I talk about momentum, that double kill from Moffat. One of the ways this team really operates quite well. Triple kill actually is so well played. I mean, definitely looking like one of the stronger traces of the tournament so far. Who can catch up to Bacon Jack though? That is going to be really interesting. So there it is, Mega Thunder picking up their very first map. You're all behind them as well. A couple notes for the team. Got to shore up on a couple of the mistakes and really got to be concerned slightly about their Sanctum play where you think they can really play that overtime. When they actually do play the overtime, they don't give up the cap. They don't just randomly step off it. You see the results of Village where they can actually fight quite effectively. They do flip it back around. They do collect the win. So maybe this was something that could have happened for them on Sanctum. A lot of if, buts, and maybes there. You're looking at a map like Shrine. That was still a very hotly contested stage of the map, I guess. Hotly contested stage in Nepal. I think this is still a series which is very hard to predict because I think both teams had generally a lot of strengths. Both teams made some relative mistakes. I think the strengths of Mega Thunder really shone a little bit brighter in their respective moments, and that really showed in the sort of, I guess, the later moments of Village when really got to see, you know, some very clutch moments. Kurlos, who has historically been picked off quite early, living just long enough to hit that Transcendence. He was on about 99% when he was on also about 25 HP. Manages just to get in there. We're going to take a look at a replay now of Shrine. This is one of the earlier fights in the midway through for Mega Thunder. So they're already sitting about 59-ish kind of percent here, losing Kurlos quite early. It's something that Shai Lin's been doing a lot against Mega Thunder team. Mega Thunder do get the return kills here. So Pudo, one of the big instruments. So the Pudo versus Mui battle has been quite interesting as well because generally so far Pudo has come out on top of those battles. So there's a lot of ultimates here. So losing Kurlos there was, I guess, one of the reasons that Mega Thunder eventually lost this fight because Pudo, or rather Kurlos, was sitting on the Transcendence. So you can imagine all these kills in the middle, the kills onto Pudo, the kills onto Elk and the other guys as well. Those could have been prevented had Kurlos stayed alive with the Transcendence, and that would have been a very different fight. And so for Mega Thunder, they ended up coming through on top of that one anyway, so not a big deal, but it just didn't feel clean. It doesn't feel as convincing. You watch the AHQ versus Machi series. AHQ, when they won, yeah, they made a couple of mistakes, didn't look super clean, but it did look convincing as we get to the second replay now. We're going to Sanctum. Earlier stages, so Transcendence already coming out from Mango Jai. A lot of ultimates, as I recall, for the Mega Thunder side onto this one. Pudo getting taken down with that tactical vice. So big plays by Ting. So this is kind of what I'm talking about when I'm saying that Ting really pulled his weight here. And this is when Mega Thunder was actually quite far ahead, reasonably far ahead. They had one of the few ultimates actually in the game, which is on a Pudo. And you needed to have a Pudo in a good position to actually like really pull weight there with the tactical visor, really set him up into a good positioning. And a Ting, you know, assessing threats properly, really disposed of both Kurlos and Pudo quite efficiently. So every time a couple of these players went down, things really just started to turn around. So that's something I'm noticing about both these teams in these matches is both teams don't need a lot of kills. Generally, when you've got one, maybe two kills on either side, that's when teams really go for it. Now we'll look at Village as well. So the opening Village fight was Mui getting the additional pickup, but Apudo did a lot of work here. So I remember Apudo getting a Helix Rocket media kill onto Mui here. Mui had to eventually change heroes onto Genji. There he is changing now. You can actually see here the positioning from Mega Thunder is they get a couple kills and they don't sort of overexert themselves to get additional kills. It's arguable whether that's a good or bad thing. I think it is a good thing that a Mega Thunder do prioritize the cap itself, they prioritize the objective, but I also think they can do that while trying to punish the other team a little bit harder, because you do see these return kills, you see the return trades as Mui does respond when he respawns. So for a team like Mega Thunder, they actually lost it right after getting the camp. So after collecting the kills on Mui, part of the team does need to really focus on collecting the remainder of the kills, really converting the extra kills. You don't need your whole team to be setting up on the cap. So I think for Mega Thunder, they do have a really good idea of how they want to approach that point. But a stronger punish on the other side would be preferable as well. And for both teams, realistically, because for both teams, you're not seeing these huge kill feeds come out. You're seeing a couple members dying, and then the team does something. The team tries to take a point. The team goes for an objective play rather than anything else. In fact, Mega Thunder, part of the reason Hong Kong Attitude are not getting these full team wipes is because Mega Thunder actually has been quite good at resetting themselves by suiciding. Specifically on Sanctum, you see whole teams taking a dive down to the pit, quick trip back into the respawn room as well. So not wasting too much time there from Mega Thunder. They definitely understand, at least from an objective sense, what they need to do as a team. You do, however, still left a little bit left to be decided in terms of the more the cleanliness of their execution, I should probably say. And again, it comes down to moments where you do need to actually protect those supports, because you look at Elk, you got to look at Kurlos again. Those have been the primary targets of these engages so far. The good news for Mega Thunder is they have been winning that 1v1 Apudo versus Mui. We're going to go into yet another replay now. It's going to be a little bit later into the game. Kurlos, you see, look at his health. Kurlos nearly died there, roughly about 50 HP. Just manages to keep himself alive, gets the Transcendence in time. This really snowballs the push, or rather the fight for Mega Thunder a little bit as they start to pressure the cap a little bit more. T1 already used Primal Rage by this rate. The double kill from Graceful, including the mech kill onto Randy as well, really set the stage here. Apudo ended up killing himself. So Graceful got a lot of work done here, but it really was coming off the back of, a well-timed Transcendence, keeping both himself alive, Kurlos, and everyone else alive, then giving Graceful a little bit of space, focusing on the point, getting the double kill, in fact, a triple kill and a half onto the mech, despite Apudo killing himself. And, well collected by Mega Thunder, but it was pretty hard fought. They almost didn't really get there towards the end. It could have gone really either way. One fight kind of dictating the entire map for both of these teams. So, a matchup like this, you do consider whether this goes to map 4, map 5, or something like that. Can Mega Thunder actually get away with a clean sweep here? Can they get away with a clean 3-0 sweep? Because the first map was a little bit difficult, and the pool wasn't the easiest map for Mega Thunder. It might have actually been their hardest map. You got to say, for Mega Thunder, they did look a little bit cleaner later on last night. Control definitely was a bit of an issue. We got the next pick now. Mega Thunder, as the away team, have gone to King's Row. They'll be picking the side for them. They'll be picking the starting side for themselves as well. So you wonder if they're going to opt for that defense first, or whether they're going to go for attack. You also got to wonder what kind of compositions we're going to be seeing out of Mega Thunder, because this was also the team that was quite eager to bring out the Doomfist, quite eager to bring the Xayah Ryan back out as well. We know T1 as a tank player has been quite proficient at both Winston and Reinhardt, not afraid to bring either out. And Graceful had a very good showing on Xayah last night as well. We know Apudo, of course, has a really big player, has a really big hero pool. The guy plays McCree, the guy plays Soldier, Genji, Sombra. Bunch of stuff. I'm pretty sure Apudo on the Doomfist as well, so the man of many talents. Best picks, I would probably say, at least coming up from last season, it's got to be the Soldier and the Genji. Those were his best picks from last season. We did see some Sombra from Apudo last night. Was an interesting Sombra, didn't really pull the weight that you expected, at least not in the way that you remember from the World Cup. Was dealt with by Machi rather well, so there is. good look at the moon. We might be going there next. Might be a little bit of a preview of what the next map could be. Get a little bit of a sneak peek of the Horizon Lunar Colony, but it's going to be King's Row first. Defense, we can tell so far, already opting for more of a dive, mobile defense. Diva Winston being given away quite quickly. And I think you do want to see Aputo's Genji out a little bit as well, because you've seen now Aputo's Soldier quite a bit. It really depends on what Mega Thunder has been preparing for the specific matchup. I know they have a little bit more to prove as well. You do not want to be the number 6 team in OPC. Again, remember, Graceful said, looking for a top 4 placement as a minimum. A lot of people have had good things to say about this team. A lot of people have definitely had big hopes for this team going into OPC, and they have opted for defense first. It will be same composition we saw on the poll. It's going to be the Tracer Soldier. Very popular in the Taiwan scene, by the way, very popular in Asia Pacific, so a lot of teams definitely going for that. Moe gets a little bit of a dink on the other side, but nothing to write home about. Moe as well is actually a very, similar to Aputo, very talented and also very flexible player. Moffat getting picked up super early is a bit of a problem. We did see this a little bit on Shrine rather. Moffat was picked up quite often, very much at the start, and Mega Thunder now already starting things on the back foot. This is not the way you want to go. Always going to pressure out Aputo as well. Make sure that Aputo and Kulos don't have good options for targeting. Always going to watch his own life. If he goes down here, they're going to equalize. Mega Thunder equalizing is a huge deal now. Aputo is the man in charge because no one really challenges him here. Both the tanks already on the back line. On the back of their own team, rather. Very quick transcendence out from Mango. Does allow teammate Randy to pick up a couple of extra kills. 2.5 there. Aputo going down to a Ting. So despite Mui going down, Moffat even came back to the fight. The tanks of Hong Kong Attitude were able to keep things alive there. Ting and Randy. Gotta be the players that secure this for Hong Kong Attitude. They get a push on through. Very efficient, very quick. Damage control, the name of the game. Losing Mui. Okay, we can deal with that. Tanks in the front line. Tanks pressure Aputo. Tanks get the kills. And Randy, the question was, what's Randy going to do this season? Is he going to be good this season? So far, he's looking fine. Hello. Mega Thunder, on the other hand, they've got to find their footing just a little bit here. Aputo going to sit on that tank visor, much like he was on Sanctum. We don't want to repeat though, when Mui, or rather Aputo, couldn't really find anything to do. Got caught out. Got killed with the tank visor up. Now this time around, really want to see what else he can do. Kurlos going down to Shaolin. Very much something that's been happening a lot here. Aputo does get the counter trade on Shaolin, so gets a little bit of revenge for his friend. And now Moffat, you got to think, is playing slightly, a little bit more carefully, valuing his life just a little bit more, understands the threat of getting picked up quite early. Titawat going down as well, Elk going down. So a lot of members here. Moffat still hasn't committed this pulse bomb yet. Might look to actually just save it as he stalls out the card itself. And Aputo even looking to stall out, and also stall is the primary objective for Mega Thunder. Not looking to do too much here. Now about to collect 5 ultimates versus 5 ultimates for Hong Kong Attitude. So, you know, we talk about Mega Thunder as a team that, even if they lose fights, they don't lose too many members. That's got to be the one time where they do. That comes off the back of really looking up to stall out that cart, and we're sort of at the stage now where Mega Thunder have to be able to pull the trigger on something as a defensive team. Hong Kong Attitude are happy to just keep pushing the cart. Shailin attempting something. Aputo, Tech Visor. Actually punishes the Ting. That's good because the Ting was the player last time that really stopped them from getting any value from the Tech Visor. And I think Hong Kong Attitude got to respect this. They've got to respect Aputo's damage output, and certainly Mui is going to go on the hunting spree now. He wants to go for Aputo, but he doesn't have a dash. He's going to have to just settle for Graceful. Kurlos goes down again, and Mui has definitely got a couple extra targets in his sights. Titawat went down, Moffat as well, so I mean, Mega Thunder had no response. Aputo was safe, no doubt about that. Aputo was not in danger of dying. Unfortunately, he didn't have the impact on kills either. Wasn't gonna die, but wasn't gonna make anyone else on the other team die, and that's an issue that Mega Thunder had that didn't allow them to win the last fight. We're already into the third count, 4 minutes, 25 remaining. Comes an aggressive now sound. A barrier push from Mega Thunder. Good disengage from Hong Kong Attitude. Respects the push from Mega Thunder. But it is a bit of wasted time for Mega Thunder. That's going to be the kill finally coming in. Shailin punished by Aputo. Aputo is definitely looking out for these now. It's good that Aputo is able to protect teammates like Kurlos. In fact, Kurlos onto the Ana does allow him to protect himself even a little bit now, so it does give Mega Thunder a little bit more room to play, but this has to be where Mega Thunder holds their ground. The third cap is traditionally where teams do get that big hold, so Mega Thunder, who had a very tough first cap, a little bit of a better second cap in the Streets phase, they have to make it count now, lest Hong Kong Attitude actually push on through, which wouldn't be a big surprise either. Puro coming in once again, answered immediately with self-destruct, gotta hide from that, so already wasting seconds onto the clock, already wasting seconds on the ultimate, not finding anything. There is Kurlos, gets Shylin, the assassin that's been looking for him so long, arm to the teeth throw, Kurlos defending himself, doesn't even need a Puro. Mui might have something to say about this, though. Shylin's about to look up and collect his own ultimate. Moffat gets taken down with a little bit of help from the Ting, so Ting's being the big assist man. Always there to assist teammates and collect the additional damage, collect those kills. So for Mega Thunder, did a good job of defending themselves so far. They need to do a little bit of a better job because Hong Kong Attitude is still in this 2-1 now with the nano boost. Ting going down. The card is very close, don't forget. The card is super close. The big thing for Hong Kong Attitude, or the big thing for Mega Thunder, is that Hong Kong Attitude do not have ultimates. Mega Thunder do, so they're in this sort of space again where they have the ultimate advantage. What can they do with this? Mui now changing onto the Widowmaker. It's going to be quite interesting. I feel like the way they want to deal with this now is Mui's found it quite difficult to dive onto a Pudo in the backline. This is a very good trade. Pudo is just like, I'm not dealing with the Widowmaker. My response, go straight onto the Genji, and why not? And I said already, I want to see a Pudo's Genji. I want to see him back on this because we know he was one of the better Genjis, one of the best Genjis of Season 1. Graceful as well is someone we know is a good Zaya. The grab did come out, didn't quite see where the grab was, but he did collect CQB. Elk goes down on the other side and somewhat Hong Kong Attitude making the trades even, but where is Movie? Movie gets a kill into Moffat. It's a pretty big shot, and Pudo managed to kill himself somewhere. The whole Mega Thunder team just evaporated. And that was off the back of a good, or reasonably well-placed, I can only assume, Graviton Surge from Graceful. There comes the Pulse Bomb to get a stick. Not going to secure a kill though. Sound barrier now from Mega Thunder in very close proximity. There goes a Pulse Bomb looking for Kurlos, doesn't find it. Pudo gets his counterpart in Mui. Tino collects CQB, and suddenly this fight goes all in the way of Mega Thunder. Reset by a Ting. Smart moves by that man. Hong Kong Attitude about to run out of time, and that's got to be the gong now. Mui going to switch back to Genji as well. This is a little bit of a fun meta game between both the Pudo and Mui. In fact, Mui decides, no, I'm going to stick to a soldier on this time around. And the meta game is that a Pudo and Mui constantly trying to outpick each other. A Pudo wants to play soldier, that's okay. I'm going to go Genji. No, I'm going to go Widow as well. Pudo then goes on to Genji against the Widowmaker. Mui swaps off into a soldier, almost went into the Genji. I like to see a little bit of Genji versus Genji action, in fact. Pudo's about to hit that Dragon Blade moment. Mui not quite close to his ultimate just yet, but there is 2 defensive ultimates on the Hong Kong Attitude side, which means they do have the sustain. Survivability to push on through. They've lost a lot of card distance, and it's going to affect their ability to cap this on through, as it's very likely that Mega Thunder gets a full team respawn. Very quick transcendence. A Pudo completely punished. Call that one hook, line, and sinker because Hong Kong Attitude set themselves up. They knew they had the defensive ultimates. A Pudo had no idea. Now suddenly a lot of kills. A Pulse Bomb kill onto Moffat, cleaning up Graceful as well as the mech. Boy doesn't land the rocket jump, but they are going to push on through. But that is now the second defense team fight that I'm talking about because the car was so far back. Mega Thunder get that additional team fight they're looking for. Now the big kills come out through. Mui already down, a Ting already down. Hong Kong Attitude falling apart here. As Tito takes down Mango Giant, suddenly there's only 3 members alive, and Shylin can only do so much. He's a good player, but we're looking for respawns. So the self-destruct might not collect anybody because a well-placed barrier earlier by Tito is still remaining. Now Elk goes down, so maybe opportunity for Hong Kong Attitude. But they need more. They need Mui's tech visor, and they need Mui to be alive here. We're into the final moments. It is overtime. Mui is starting to turn on the heat. Pudo is being pushed out. There's a tactical visor now, so we're not out of the game just yet. Graceful might fork here. It's just, I think we're going to push on through. Hong Kong Attitude might just still do this, and they will. Hong Kong Attitude in the final moments. I feel like we're watching Machi all over again, waiting till the final moments, just by a hairpin, just slotting it through. Mega Thunder, that was hard fought, a very difficult fight. And those sort of middle moments there of the third cap really staved off Hong Kong Attitude. Forced that card positioning back really far, but a big turning point has to be when Apudo went in with that Dragon Blade. It looked like a well-placed Dragon Blade, but even better response from the other side. Mangajai immediately using the Transcendence. Answered and Mui shutting down Apudo before anything could get done. Apudo looked a little bit lost there. He already used the dash to get in. So he didn't get a reset. He didn't get a second dash to get himself out. So one-way ticket back to the respawn room, unfortunately, for using that Dragon Blade. We're going to find out what Mega Thunder look like on the attack. Very different game now. Mega Thunder, of course, went 0-3 against Machi last night. Machi, we already know, very competitive. They did also lose to AHQ tonight, so these do look like these are currently two teams that we've got, Hong Kong Attitude and Mega Thunder, while sitting on 0-3, with the exception of Mega Thunder picking up their first map win on Nepal against Hong Kong Attitude just recently. So 1-3 for this team now. It does look like Mui as well. Gonna try something different here. So we talk about Mui and the fact that he has these other picks. We know he's got actually a Sombra. If you watch the World Cup, if you watch Talon in the OPC qualifier, you know Mui's got the Sombra. He did used to play it on King's Road. Not going to show it just here, but we know it's in the pocket. Pudo now onto the Doomfist that we're talking about. Moffat now this time playing the McCree. So there is going to be a bit of Cowboy versus Cowboy action. I'd like to see if Apudo is able to really make use of the mobility here. We've already seen Nuns' Doomfist earlier today, and wasn't perfect play, but it was still very impressive. So we're going to get a kill here. Yes, we are. Mui straight into the wall. Gunslinger didn't roll out of the way, so 2 kills very quickly. Almost got one onto Shylin as well, but quick feet for Shylin does allow him to dodge that one out. Good peel from Apudo, actually saving teammates. Does get punished by a tank, so once again it is the front line of Hong Kong Attitude. The tanks don't really keep it alive for them. Meanwhile from T1, unable to really find anything here. Shield up but flanked. Couldn't really get any really useful hammer swings into that fight. So Hong Kong Attitude do continue to hold the CQB, again the first casualty. And Mui falling to Apudo, a well-placed rocket punch not too long after that. But Mega Thunder couldn't capitalize, couldn't get past the tanks, and it has been Randy and a Ting holding the weight of the team. Into the next push for Mega Thunder. Apudo looking for something here. Needs to wait for his next rocket punch. Meteor Strike should be really good. Would expect the Meteor Strike to be coming into play at some point during this push. Moffat does collect the Ting, so one of the issues of their last push has been dealt with. Tanks have been definitely big carries. That is definitely a good rocket punch from Apudo. Well timed, well placed. Headshots by Moffat as well. This is going to be a cleanup. And we haven't even used all the ultimates. Nice shots from Apudo to clean up Mui. And Mui changed to the Genji in response to something like Apudo. You got mobility on Doomfist. I'll show you mobility on Genji. That's what real mobility looks like. But there's a lot of ultimates. We've got big combos here. The big combo potential comes out from Graceful, Graviton Surge into the Meteor Strike. And in this sort of combo, you almost want to use the Meteor Strike first. So look for that. If the Meteor Strike comes out, expect the Graviton Surge to be next. Shylin taking another punch to the face. This does sort of remind you of a previous match where Nuns did punch Rapid in the face many a time. Apudo looking for some forward positioning here. Again, big ultimates on the Mega Thunder side. Hong Kong Attitude will be waiting for the 2 DPS ultimates to come up. Nothing defensively which is going to really affect this team. You do want to have the sound barrier ready for the Graviton Surge, and I don't believe it's going to come up in time, but it may just if Mega Thunder wait too long. Mega Thunder got to look for an opportunity here. Already losing Moffat. It's not a good start, but they can turn this around. Look for the Graviton Surge. That's the timing. Should be using it very soon. Gets killed before he can get it go. And now it's go time for Hong Kong Attitude instead. Mui is going to be the one carving up. It's going to be a Mega Thunder sushi platter for Hong Kong Attitude. And Mega Thunder had so much to work with it. They had so many ultimates, so many opportunities. Losing players just especially when you're looking at the way Graceful was playing, you could see he was really looking for a Graviton Surge. Randy knew he was trying to go for the Matrix on top of him, didn't relent, and by the time Graceful was ready to use the Graviton Surge, A, his teammates were dead, and B, he was dead. Dead's Eye is not going to do much. Mega Thunder again going to attempt to break past sort of fish and chip shop. Still got that combo. This is a big combo. They just have to get that Graviton Surge down. To get the grab down, suddenly things really open up. Even if you don't get the grab down, the Meteor Strike really opens up the map. Gives you, really draws a line in the sand, so to speak. So here comes Transcendence. That's good. Mega Thunder can wait this one out. There goes the grab. So where's the Meteor Strike? Where's the rest of the combo? Might not even need it because a lot of damage coming out through anyway. Meteor Strike kills nobody, but Cheetah does kill somebody. And that's what they need. Grace, we're going to clean up the rest of the members. The Ting has Primal Rage. But he's going to have to rage himself all the way back to the respawn room at this rate. But we're now changing onto the Widowmaker as Mega Thunder push up, looking for some additional kills. We looked at Nepal. We said, look, Mega Thunder weren't the team that goes forward and aggressively looks for the extra kills. This time they do, and Hong Kong had to just seed over that Streets phase cap. There it is. Apudo is just all over the show. This guy has been doing work. Meteor Strike or not, he's finding targets, he's finding Mui, he's finding Shaolin crucially, because Shaolin has been the player that has mostly been picking out Kurlos. You actually see the difference. Kurlos has been living. When Kurlos lives, Mega Thunder do well. The show comes down onto 3, picks up a kill onto 2 players, make that 3. Sleeping player as well on the Mega Thunder side, doesn't even matter. I'll sleep myself to the finish line if I have to, and Mega Thunder look like they're going to cap this out in record time. They still have Ultimates. Meteor Strike still into play. I'd use it now. Use a Meteor Strike and just completely spawn camp the other team with it. You have a defensive ultimate too. Graceful nearly on the Graviton Surge. Everything is working for Mega Thunder in this push. Hong Kong Attitude running out of answers for this. After this Transcendence, they don't have a lot left. We're still sitting on a couple of ultimates. Graceful should be looking for a grab anytime around now. There it is. Here comes a Meteor Strike. Use it. Looking to collect the low kills, a triple from Apudo. That's going to finish things off for Mega Thunder as they push on through. No more members, just Shaolin. He goes down, and the cap should come through. Mega Thunder taking it to Hong Kong Attitude. That is a far more convincing display from Hong Kong Attitude. Kisses to his team from Apudo. Blow those kisses their way. Blow one my way too if you want. Mega Thunder looking and feeling a lot better about that match. And so they should. They knew what their game plan was. They knew how they needed to execute it. A couple of failed attempts, but they got there in the end. The only question mark on that team, the only sort of smudge, as you might call it, is Moffat on the McCree, unfortunately, didn't have the impact you expect because on the Tracer, he does a lot of work. So you're used to having Moffat on the Tracer. You're used to having the impact he provides on the Tracer when he is on the McCree. Not really saying he's a bad McCree, but certainly a far cry from what you're used to if he was instead playing that Tracer. So the only smudge on otherwise a near-perfect record from the Mega Thunder team. On the other hand, though, Hong Kong Attitude, that did look like a little bit more of a struggle than expected. Do have to question the last-minute Widow change onto Mui a little bit. Mui hasn't really found the shots yet. It's not quite... we did see Dizzy from AHQ on the Widowmaker earlier tonight, and he did find a few shots. He did need a little bit of time, but he was accurate nonetheless. Mui not quite as fortunate. Now we're into the time bank. Does Hong Kong Attitude push in overtime? Mega Thunder only need 1/3. Judging by the way they've approached this map against Hong Kong Attitude so far, I am expecting them to cap this one out. If they do, that is a 2-0 lead for Mega Thunder, something they can really work with, something that would really push them to get that 3-0. They're diving in quite early, but still yet to find anything, looking for that punch kill. Gotta line it up with the wall. That's the key to Doomfist. You can't just punch someone for free. Gotta line up wall. That's one way to do it. Moffat cleans up on the other side. Call that an alley-oop. 1-2 punch. You got 2 fists. One of the other player as well. Graceful picks himself up and making suddenly Hong Kong Attitude. They're losing members. They're losing positioning. They're losing the point, and they could lose this match as well. Graceful gets himself a double. This looks like it's all but over now. The formalities 2-0 for Mega Thunder. Clean sweep. Streets of London filled with elephants tonight. Hong Kong Attitude, they're going to have to pack their bags for map number 3. And look, for Mega Thunder, other thing you got to remember is actually they're the away team today. This was their pick, but they also won on Hong Kong Attitude's pick, and Hong Kong Attitude will get another pick now, which Mega Thunder, by the way they're playing now, are likely to get again. Look at that triple kill from Apudo. Gets the rocket punch onto Mui as well. Elk picks up that kill after the uppercut. And Apudo can play a lot of different heroes. That was definitely a lot more convincing from Mega Thunder. I think they're going to take a little bit of time now to really have a look at some of the things in the game. Coach Pure standing behind them as well. Should be happy with the performance so far. I'm certainly impressed by Mega Thunder, especially after yesterday. A little bit of a question over the top of the heads of Mega Thunder. Looked like a confused elephant. A lot of question marks on that one. But this time around, it seems like yesterday's problems have been somewhat addressed. Well played by Machi yesterday to actually take it up from Mega Thunder. But this is, I guess, the Mega Thunder squad that we've been waiting for. This is the Mega Thunder squad that people really looked at. The analysts, the critics. When you initially saw the announcement of the squad, you initially saw the announcement of the roster, the Fireball pickup by the Mega organization. You said, look, this is something I'm really looking forward to. This is a team that I'm expecting good results from. And then the 0-3 last night against Machi. That isn't the start that they wanted. But very early on in the season, day number 2, they're already picking up 2 maps. Their score now is 2-3 overall in the OPC season. Looking to tie that up, maybe 3-3. If they don't drop another map here, and they are looking pretty good. I think yesterday's Assault was probably one of the better performances they've had against Machi. It was a very difficult match for them, but still, I think Assault was good. They went to Lunar Colony, Horizon Lunar Colony, so for a team like Hong Kong Attitude, their favored pick for Assault from last season was Temple of Anubis, so we will see if that's something they opt for. So Temple of Anubis was something that they really went to. Hopefully we'll get some replays of that last match as well, but it is definitely the Mega Thunder that you hoped showed up yesterday, but better late than never. In fact, you wouldn't even really call it late. This has been a very big turnaround, a one-day turnaround, 24-hour turnaround for a team like Mega Thunder. That's something you got to be able to respect as well, and something else you got to be able to respect is Apudo's performance on the Doomfist. I said earlier tonight, look, we look at Nuns. He had a good Doomfist. He was impactful. He got the kills, he got the area control. He took use of the mobility. And you look at a guy like Apudo as well. And this is it's something that I guess has now become a little bit common with the Genji players, but the Genji players have a really good understanding of how to use and abuse that mobility, how to take control and how to really play a very fast game, I guess, play style, which translates really easily over to something like Doomfist. So that's something we're seeing out of Apudo. It's something that is now a little bit impressive, so I'd like to see a little bit more of that out of Apudo. His Genji, of course, has been pretty good as well. We're seeing a lot of Soldier out of Apudo. That's been one of his main picks so far in this matchup. But I think for Hong Kong Attitude, Mui is he's been losing those duels. I think one of the key things between these two players has been that you're going to now go into a replay. This is going to be in the final stages of that third cap on through. And this was when Mui changed onto that Widowmaker. If I'm not mistaken, it is it should be the defense from Mega Thunder. And I don't believe Mui got many picks here. So Mui did change in response to Apudo, and then Apudo changed in response to Mui. So that's kind of what it looked like. So Hong Kong Attitude attempting to push out through here. And that Pulse Bomb, I do remember, was a good stick, but couldn't really keep it on through. And this is when the supports started to really live in. You see the big difference. Apudo does get the kill into Mui, and the Mui should be going to Soldier after this. But Mega Thunder don't really give up too much ground here, and the cart moves back. In fact, the cart does move back, I believe, around that corner, and that actually kind of helps Hong Kong Attitude a little bit in the sense that while they lose a bit of cart presence, as soon as you get into the overtime, you actually want to be the team that has the cart a little bit closer to your spawn. So I do want to address that little dynamic between Mui and Apudo because it felt like a really interesting sort of 1v1 between them, and that was a pretty good example of, I guess, at least in terms of hero compositions, the dynamic between, you know, Mui wants to go on the Widowmaker to try and counter the Soldier from Apudo. couldn't really find a way as a Genji to dive on in. Apudo sees that, decides, I'm actually going to play the Genji now to try and counter out that Widow. And then Mui says, okay, now I'm going to hop off that Widow and go on to something like Genji or back onto Soldier. So that's a really interesting dynamic between the two players. But that really got shifted when Apudo went on to the Doomfist. As soon as he went onto the Doomfist, that's when it really felt like dire straits for Mui. And Mui, one of the opening kills of the push from Mega Thunder was Apudo getting that wall punch, rocket punch onto Mui directly into wall, picking up players. So I'm going to go into yet another replay. In fact, we might even see that play coming out. CQB does go down rather early. There's that punch from Apudo onto Mui directly onto the wall. But this is when Mega Thunder kind of falls short because they had the early advantages, but it was the frontline tanks, Ting and Randy, that really got things done. You see, Graceful and Elk really tried to catch Shaolin. Spent a lot of time doing that. While they were doing that, their backlines did get taken apart because, again, the team of Randy and Ting really set the stage here. And Tinawad, unfortunately, as the Reinhardt play, a little bit too slow. Couldn't really find anything here. Goes down himself to Randy. So Randy picking up a lot of kills, and you really got to commend the Hong Kong Attitude frontline for being able to hold their own against everything from Mega Thunder. But you also got to look at the Mega Thunder side and think, you know, a little bit more patience out of them. We're going to go to another replay now. This should be the time bank push. Moffat and Graceful picking up kills, and Apudo's point of view on the bottom right as well. A lot of pressure on this point, and Apudo had some really good moments here. Gets a punch kill onto Randy, which is pretty crucial. So it's just able to pick up these kills everywhere. And Graceful had a lot of energy charge. You can't really see it from his perspective, but you can just tell it's, you know, it's got to be 80, 90 out of 100 charge. And Graceful's a deadly Xayah play so far. So it's not a surprise you're actually seeing Mega Thunder have these situations where Graceful hops off the Diva. They're not changing anything else. He's the only one changing. He's just going on to Xayah, and they're playing whatever they're normally playing, whether that's Apudo on the Doomfist or on the Soldier, keeping Moffat onto the Tracer, and then you just have that Graceful Xayah, and it has been impactful. His grabs have been good. He hasn't had any grabs eaten just yet. His grabs are good yesterday. His grabs are good again today. Especially when you got Apudo to combo that up with something like a Meteor Strike. But even beforehand, you know, even without the Meteor Strike, they were able to get a lot of value out of the grabs. Just a couple issues elsewhere. But for Mega Thunder, definitely looking like less issues and more success. And for Hong Kong Attitude, unfortunately, the other way around. So it is a little bit different from the very competitive Hong Kong Attitude that we saw yesterday. Certainly they're still competitive now, but really like to see how Hong Kong Attitude handle Assault, which is going to be the next map pick. That's all going to happen right after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to OPC Season 2, Week 1, Day number 2. I'm your host and caster, AVRL, and just about everything else for this evening. We're about to head into map number 3 of Mega Thunder, versus Hong Kong Attitude, with Hong Kong Attitude as the home side, Mega Thunder as the away side, and that means Hong Kong Attitude will be picking map number 3, which has just come up, and it's Volskaya Industries. So there it is, the Assault map. Mega Thunder, of course, up 2-0. Looking to close this one out in spectacular fashion. To be honest, I think a 3-0 is definitely not out of context or out of the realm of possibility for this team. I think for Hong Kong Attitude, they want to be able to take a map here. They need to have something on the board, otherwise they will be going down 0-6 to start the season. The team that's finished in 4th place in Season 1, and mind you, Hong Kong Attitude finished in 4th place while beating AHQ twice, while beating Blank once. So the team that very likely, maybe even deservedly so, might have been a top 3 team finishing in 4th place. Now on the back foot against this Mega Thunder lineup, which previously in Season 1 under the Fireball organization came in 6th place. So far a big step up from Mega Thunder. And you've really got to look to these new players as well. Imported from North America and Europe. Graceful, Elk, and Moffat have so far been doing a mighty fine job for this Mega Thunder team. You've got to praise Moffat's Tracer so far. You've really got to praise Graceful Xayah, which has a lot of work. And Elk on the back as well, as a Lucio player, really adding an extra layer of depth for the team. So a mix between North American and European players and Thai players. And one of the issues of this team in the past has had to be some of the communications. Of course, you've gone from an all-Thai team speaking Thai to a half-Thai team, or rather five Thai members and 3 non-Thai members are speaking English together. There's something, a minor hurdle for the team to overcome. Of course, with American coach Pure as well onto the backside, Mega definitely is putting a lot into this team, putting a lot of faith into this team. Certainly, after this, if they're beating Hong Kong Attitude, you're really starting to see the dividends of this team's hard work and efforts paying off. And so far in the lead 2-0, I think they're on a roll. I think the snowball, I think the momentum will continue, and a 3-0 is definitely on the cards. I think Assault was one of their better game modes from last night's match against Machi. Same Machi who, of course, struggled a little bit against AHQ earlier in the night, and AHQ had a brilliant run through. Now it's up to Mega Thunder to equalize it, and Mega Thunder to get a 3-3 on their scoreboard. Hong Kong Attitude staring down the barrel of an 0-6. Mango Jai back onto Sombra here, the same Sombra that we knew him from Season 1, so it's going to be a triple defense, single support defense for Hong Kong Attitude. And 2 out of the norm for Mega Thunder, just the standard soldier trace that they've used to. I guess the only other things we're used to seeing now is maybe a Genji or a Doomfist from Apuda, but it is something a little bit more conventional, something a little bit more standard, and the Mui versus Apuda fight does continue. So far it does look like Apuda is out-damaging Mui. He's trading blows, but every time you trade blows here, Hong Kong Attitude are happy to wait because they're getting the EMP. 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining, 50 seconds gone. Mega Thunder yet to touch the point, and eventually Mango Giant picks up this EMP, and that's when Hong Kong Attitude strike. Mega Thunder got to go before then. Mega Thunder got to get something done. Nearly there. This is when you are seeing a little bit more movement out of Mega Thunder, but the EMP does become available now, so look for Mango Giant to use it. Does hit a couple members, but immediately punished by Moffat, who, by the way, is hacked. The response is onto Apuda, so now what are Hong Kong Attitude going to do about this? Because they have lost Mango Jai. Mui gets knocked off the side as well, and suddenly Mega Thunder coming up big despite eating an EMP to the face. Shylin does still have something to say about this, so the last token defense. Hard to call it a token defense though when he's pulling so much weight for the team. Do have to shut this guy down. It's up to Moffat in the 1v1. Recall used now, blinks have been used. Shylin does go down to Apuda, and that should signal the cap on through from Mega Thunder. Hong Kong Attitude, valiant effort. Did mention Mega Thunder needed to make some moves before the EMP came out. They did do that. The EMP does still come out. And actually Mega Thunder come out better on the other side of that, despite losing Apuda. Now Mango Jai nearing another EMP. Mui's going to have to hold the fort in the meantime with his Tank Visor, but Mega Thunder, they got a lot of ultimates moving into this next push, and that is very scary for Hong Kong Attitude's side. But to defend for 5 minutes and 42 seconds, Sound Barrier coming down, Randy losing everything. Apuda with the Tank Visor as well, yet to find his first kill, gets knocked around by a Ting, unfortunately. Pulse Bomb doesn't do a lot. Shailin's Pulse Bomb does though. Kurlos, unsurprisingly, the first target, and this is now where Hong Kong Attitude draw the line in the sand. They mark their territory and they say Mega Thunder cannot come in here. No more kills for Mega Thunder. It's all Hong Kong Attitude. Hong Kong Attitude get just about everything. And I'm pretty sure an EMP got used in the middle of that because Mango Jai is still on 60-something%, and I refuse to believe that he only gained like 5% in the last fight. So definitely got an EMP there. Pudo, unfortunately, Tank Visor didn't get anything done there, but well played by a team to knock him out of the way. Moffat, unfortunately, didn't find a Pulse Bomb kill, but Shylin did, and this is the difference. Mega Thunder, they had more ults, they used more ults, but Hong Kong Attitude got more value out of the little ults that they did have. Here comes another EMP, Pudo this time onto the Genji. You need kills here, you need a lot of kills here from Hong Kong Attitude, and you do get them. Moffat and Graceful down. You got your Swede and your American sent back to the respawn room, or at least on the side of Graceful. Has to forcibly send himself back to the respawn room by taking a dive down the side of Volskaya in the icy waters. Hong Kong Attitude are holding and sitting pretty tight. Nearly 2 minutes are gone from this Mega Thunder push already. Don't forget we started with 6 minutes, we're about to hit 4. A third of the time of their push gone, but a third of the cap uncapped. That is an issue. You have to be able to get something here. You need progress. You don't want to end up in a situation like Machi were in against AHQ earlier tonight, where many minutes go by and not a single percentage of cap to show for it. A lot of ultimates to get through though. Hong Kong Attitude have so many tools to use, and Mega Thunder, they just don't. Getting rid of Mui here, or rather living through the tactical visor, definitely the first step. Moffat looking for that pulse bomb kill. Missed his last one, Shylene didn't. He's going to have to hit this one again. Rui, the tactical visor couldn't get anything now. It's the turn for Mega Thunder to get something done. EMP does come down. Moffat did get hit, but a well-timed sound barrier by Elk will keep everyone going now. The nano boost as well from Kurlos. Response sound barrier from CQB. This is a big fight now. Waiting for the pulse bomb still. There goes one down, but nothing gets picked up. But Ting and Mui are going to draw first blood against Mega Thunder, and suddenly for Mega Thunder, using their ults here, they're going to get forced back. Teeterwatt off the side of the map as well. They do get a mech, and that's about it. Now 3 minutes gone, half of the attacking time disappeared. Yet to see any progress on the point though, and that is important for Mega Thunder. They need to be stealing camp progress away from Hong Kong Attitude with each push. They need to be adding to that. Getting into a situation where you're nearing overtime and going from 0, very difficult place to win from. Now Pudo's got that Dragon Blade, so we can see something here. Mui, despite using the tactical visor in the last fight, has nearly built up to another. That is a possible stick again. Kurlos once more, and surprisingly to Shylene, picking up his second kill. This man is annihilating supports. The only response is Moffat onto Mui, and that is a good response, but it's not going to be good enough to get you an actual push. And Pudo understand this, and the rest of Mega Thunder will suicide off the side again. So now, nearly 4 minutes gone from the push. We'll be playing into EMP. This is a very difficult time because Hong Kong Attitude only spent one ultimate for that. They just stuck Kurlos with the pulse bomb, did nothing else with ultimates whatsoever, which is important for Hong Kong Attitude because they needed to wait for this take visor from Mui. They needed to get the EMP back up. CQB also needs a sound barrier. It's their only defensive option. Do note that Hong Kong Attitude do not have as much healing as they'd like. They do not have as many defensive options as they like. No Zenyatta, just one Lucio. So their offense player is going to get a lot done, and it's going to start with Mui. Ting's not an offense player, but he might as well be at this stage because he has picked up a lot of kills. Now the kills start coming in again. Mega Thunder collecting ultimates, and they're going to have to collect the whole bunch before they can make anything done for it. So they do get another 2 ultimates out of Hong Kong Attitude. Randy and Mui actually both sort of, so Randy's resetting his mech, but Mui is seriously going on to the repeat here. Mango Jai is more than halfway through to getting his EMP there. CQB still waiting patiently for the sound barrier, but for Mega Thunder, remember we started this push with 6 minutes, now down to 1 minute, 5/6 of the time gone. Now farm up these 6 ultimates, and you're going to have to get all the progress now off of one push. If you don't get all the progress, you're looking for something like 90% cap anyway. You're looking for something close, a minimum of 2/3 I think you should expect out of Mega Thunder off this push. So far, Ting once again is the man that gets kills, and Kurlos once again, the man that unfortunately has to go down early. Does need a little bit more protection. You've got to get some kills here, and the kills do start coming on through, but you lose the healing. Elk went down, Kurlos went down. No one left to keep everyone alive, and the sustain is very important for this team. We still haven't capped the third. 25 seconds now remaining. Now Ting, it's like you're running with 4 DPSs here, because the Ting's doing just about as much damage as some of the DPS players on his team. Very last minute reset, we're going to go for a very slow push. Now Teeterwatt might just charge on and through. Pudo's going to have to fly on through. Very big changes in terms of composition for Mega. They already know they don't have ultimates, so they're going to throw everything at the wall here. Hong Kong Attitude also do not have ultimates. We are in the last fight now. Moffat going down early Shylene. This man has been a terror for Mega Thunder so far in this matchup. No one will get any ultimates. Kurlos goes down to Shylene again. That's very unfortunate. Pudo needs to get a response, and we've seen some good punches from him. This time around, not going to see a good punch. Mui now with the Death Blossom. That should be the nail in the coffin for Mega Thunder. They do not get a single cap onto B. And Hong Kong Attitude, this is now a statement because they've had a rough 2 maps. Kings Road didn't go their way. Kings Road wasn't what they expected. Volskaya now much better for them. Don't forget, this was also their pick. They're picking something that works quite well for them. This is a team that's also very practiced with Sombra. We've seen a lot of Sombra play coming up from Mango Jai in Season 1. Very seasoned veteran of the Sombra meta, now showing how he plays in Season 2 as well. The interesting thing about Hong Kong Attitude is they're not going with the flow here. They're not traveling downstream with where Sombra has sort of gone to, which is a lot of teams have decided to play Sombra in the DPS slot, where one of your DPS players, in this case Mui, who by the way does also play Sombra, would be picking up that. Dropping a support for the Sombra instead, rather relying on the solo healer with health packs hacked. But it has been working, at least so far. And in fact, it feels like additionally they have yet another DPS, because a Ting has been doing so much work, not just on this map. We saw his damage output, we saw his ability to pick up kills in King's Row as well. We saw that on the Nepal. Randy, you got to thank for that, because Randy and a Ting working together as a combo has been that frontline tank duo that has been picking up a lot of kills. It's been really shutting down Apudo, shutting down Moffat at times. And meanwhile, if you're shutting down the DPSs on the other side, you're shutting down the damage output from the Mega Thunder side. Shailin goes unchecked. The only person really challenging Shailin was in fact Apudo. Apudo playing the soldier. Well-placed Helix Rockets really pushes Shailin out. Aside from that, Apudo was playing a lot of Genji so far that we've seen a lot of Doomfist. He has had a couple good shots into Shailin, but if he doesn't hit them, Shailin does hit Kurlos, and that's been where a lot of the losses have come from. You've seen what happens when Kurlos lives. We've seen what happens when Elk lives. Much different teams. Okay, this is going to be a very interesting, very aggressive hold now, which can get punished, and Graceful's going to lose a mech for it, so it is being punished, and Apudo's got to be careful too. They're going to trade into Mango Jai, so this is good so far, but this isn't the kind of trade that you want, because it's not convincing. Mega Thunder's losing nearly as many members as they're able to kill here. CQB does reset, so for Hong Kong Attitude, they are going to eventually lose everyone. I think Mega Thunder have done a great job of predicting Hong Kong Attitude's play. They must have seen Hong Kong Attitude against Ardiant and realized this is the same tactic that Hong Kong Attitude used against Ardiant last night. So well read, well researched. I think the coaching staff are noticing that one, so for Mega Thunder, immediately stopping that initial push on through. Mango Jai already knows, okay, time to change. This time onto the Ana, and to be honest, Hong Kong Attitude have the ability to actually go for an aggressive Sombra as well. It's something that you've seen them do in the past, something that they can still pull out here, but alas, it will be Tracer, Genji, and an Ana. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here, so Mega Thunder so far have done a pretty good job defending A, which is something that Hong Kong Attitude didn't do. Hong Kong Attitude unfortunately lost A quite quickly, but they did get the full hold on B, so you've got to give that to them. If Hong Kong Attitude can get past A here, you got to think they can do pretty well at B, but you got to get past A before you can do that. So far, the work is being done, and Shailin's been getting kills on one side, Moffat's been getting kills on the other side. Channeling a little bit of that Shailin pressure, landing that pulse bomb onto CQB, and that may just end up resetting Hong Kong Attitude, who do have the ability to do that. They do have the close spawns, do have the ability to say, nope, gonna exit out of this, not lose too many players, wait for the respawn. Is something that Mega Thunder can't do. It's too far away. Mega Thunder's realistically all in here. Really good A hold, also gonna seal the deal for them. So Apudo now, Dragonblade, gets a mid-air kill onto Mui. I don't even know if he realized Mui was there. Now looking for number 2, might not need number 2, but Mega Thunder going to get more done if Apudo doesn't get more kills, because he's got a Ting hot on his heels. Meanwhile, Tita1 looking for Randy on the other side, who takes a dive off the edge, swimming back to spawn in the icy cold waters of Volskaya. Now, Hong Kong Attitude is severely lacking in the time department. Even if they cap A, they're going to have not a lot to work with cap B, but they do only need to cap 33% into cap B. So, Hong Kong Attitude have kind of out-juked Mega Thunder there. Mega Thunder expected Hong Kong Attitude to go that left side direction. Rise, pick up by Mui. Does get traded on the other side, and Mui's looking for kills, finds nothing. Tita1 shuts him down, and this could be all over now for Hong Kong Attitude. Whole team has to reset. Randy's got to be careful not to get staggered here, because the stagger would have really put the team into a very bad spot. Fortunately, doesn't lose his mech, so now Hong Kong Attitude get one more push. And for Mega Thunder, even if they lose this defense here, you've got to think this has been a successful defense, because they've bled so much time. Because this will go now into the overtime, so Hong Kong Attitude. There's only 2 outcomes here. They can either not cap here, which would be a win for Mega Thunder, or cap into overtime, which would give Mega Thunder a lot of time for Camp B, and either way, it's good for Mega Thunder. Put yourselves into a win-win position. Elk did go down, so 6v5. Elk is going to find it hard to regroup with the rest of the team. A good Shaolin Pulse Bomb, like the ones that we've seen, could be very good. Not going to get it. Moffat, time punishing him. Kurlos dies anyway to a Ting, so it kind of just achieved its own fate. And Mui taking a dive off the side. We're a Hong Kong attitude. You need to get the kills here. Randy is doing the work. He's following the way of the team. And a Ting is here as well. It's coming down to the tanks. The Ting goes down. One of the half of that carry duo is not in effect. The DPS is gone. You wait for Shaolin to get back in. Still got a Pulse Bomb. Misses. And now it's Mega Thunder. Graceful and Moffat are the ones picking up the heat. And Mui just got back from spawn. Doesn't get enough done. Mega Thunder bringing the Thunder to OPC Season 2. Pure running right to the stage, congratulating his teammates. After not being able to cap point B, preventing Hong Kong Attitude from getting even cap A. And that is the kind of performance you want to see out of this new Mega Thunder squad. For Hong Kong Attitude, unfortunately, 0-6 is how they're going to start this season. But for Mega Thunder, this is rejuvenation, redemption a little bit. If you're going to turn yourselves around earlier on, this is about as early as you want to turn around. You would have ideally wanted a good start. This is still not a bad start. It's a shaky start, give them that. Definitely called Mega Thunder a mixed bag team yesterday. And it does somewhat still feel like this. Yesterday they looked shaky, but with some good moments in them. This time around they look like a very well put together, coordinated, deadly team. We talk about them as a mixed bag. This is the part of the mixed bag where it's all the sweets that you were looking for. No black jelly beans. It's all the ones that you actually enjoy. So now they get to collect those handshakes off of Hong Kong Attitude. And this is a strong statement to make earlier on in the tournament because Hong Kong Attitude were the 4th place team from Season 1. Mega Thunder picking up Fireball, the 6th place team from Season 1. This is not a match that they ever won in Season 1. Puro even sneaking in a cheeky hug onto Mango Jai there. The team looking, the Mega Thunder team looking very good. I have to commend both of the tanks from Hong Kong Attitude though, because in many moments, even at the end when it looked really bad for Hong Kong Attitude, it really came down to Randy and the Ting, that tank duo really keeping it up alive. And that was something that was a bit of an issue in Season 1. The Ting somewhat underperformed as a tank player. Really had to come off the back of K4, who was the original DPS member that Mui replaced, and off the back of Shaolin to get things done. This time around it wasn't the tanks. Get straight into the replays now before we talk about anything else. This is onto Mega's attack. I'm not mistaken here, so Mango Jai did get picked straight away after he used the EMP. But Puro went down, so I believe Mega Thunder still do push on through because they did punish Mango Jai really hard. The EMP wasn't really taking advantage, not in the way that Hong Kong Attitude wanted to. Hong Kong Attitude wanted a lot more out of that EMP. They didn't get a lot more. Shaolin still did a lot of work here, gets himself 2.5 kills. 2 kills in a mech. Getting himself a lot done. Shaolin was the only one really holding up here. So when you talk about a Hong Kong Attitude, you talk about their tanks really holding up that front line. Then you talk about Shaolin really holding up for the back line, for the damage output, the pressure, constantly killing Kurlos, being the last one alive on his team, even killing players when the rest of his team is down. Despite all that though, a good take from Mega Thunder, despite getting EMP. It was a well-placed EMP from Mango Jai, but getting your Sombra getting killed straight away has been the death of a lot of teams. You really see it when the EMP comes out, your Sombra dies straight away, the rest of the team can't really take advantage. That's when you're not getting anything done. And Puro, we didn't see in that replay, you might have caught it on the corner of your eye, but Puro got locked out by a Ting, I'm pretty sure. So he actually got assaulted on by the tanks. So once again, tanks doing work for Hong Kong Attitude. Definitely one of the standout parts of that team. We'll talk about tanks on the other side as well, because Cheetah One has some really good moments. Graceful, already a player that we've talked about quite often now, especially on the Xayah. Good moments on the Diva. Not as much impact as we see on the Xayah, but Xayah is kind of just that more impactful hero anyway. Especially in the hands of someone like Graceful that's done a really decent job of it so far. Of course, out of a good take from Mega Thunder on that cap A, they had about 6 minutes. They had actually over 6 minutes, 6:05, maybe even 6:10 going into camp B. And that's when they really struggled. Hopefully we'll get to see a replay of that as well. We're not actually going to get to that yet, but we're going to see a different replay. This is going to be the attack on the other side, if I'm not mistaken. So with roughly about 1 minute left, Hong Kong Attitude trying to get this one done, and just the response kills are so big from Mega Thunder. And again, it's Shailin. Shailin's always the player that's able to keep the fight somewhat alive. If it's not the tanks, it's Shailin. In fact, even if it is the tanks, it's still Shailin realistically in this. So really get a little bit of the comparison there. So Hong Kong Attitude really failed to really snowball the rest of the kills. They were able to always get a few kills in there, but they're always losing a lot of kills on the side as well. So they were never able to sustain their own members while picking up the kills. And the only member that was able to get the trades in there, or really the key player getting the trades, was Shailin. So there's a lot of Hong Kong Attitude players going down in the middle of these pushes, Shailin picking them on the side, keeping them sort of 50-50, but eventually Shailin, he's only one guy, he can't pull the weight of the whole team. Hong Kong Attitude not able to find a lot of the big picks that would have seriously put them a little bit further ahead, but you still got to think about, and I do hope we get to see this, I guess not the whole 6 minutes, but 6 minutes worth of pushing from Mega Thunder that failed onto Camp B. And you got to think, without a successful Camp A, could have been a different story. We're now going to go into the post-match interview, which I'll be translating over if it's in Chinese.
Please introduce to our audience.
Hello, I'm Oputo from Mega Thunder.
我们知道说 Oputo 在开赛打招呼的时候呢，就让大家吓了一大跳。想必他现在的心情一定是非常的激动跟开心。我想问他，他有没有第二个想要亲的人呢？
Is there the second player you want to kiss?
Someone in team Aryan from Korean. Yeah.
From Korea?
Because the Korean player is so cute and I love them.
因为韩国队的队员很可爱，阿迪人的队员很可爱，然后我想要亲他们任何一个人。
哦，他们在那边还在忙，没有听到，所以等一下有机会，说不定 Oputo 可以跟他们讲一下。好，第二个问题也知道说，MT 呢这支队伍呢，其实有许多不一样国家的成员组成的，想问问看他们是怎么样培养默契的啦。
So you insist of a lot of different nation players. How do you communicate and how do you play together?
We change to speak Thai to English, but someone in our team cannot speak English, like Titawat. He cannot speak English, and sometimes he don't understand what we're talking about, and me will translate for him. Yeah, that's it.
他说我们队伍中有些人没有办法讲英文，那当然这个国外的这些选手们有些人没办法讲泰文，所以呢 Oputo 他会他说譬如说像那个 Titawa。 那所以呢，像 Oputo 他就会帮忙做中间的翻译。哦，
所以他除了是选手之外，还要身兼队友们的翻译，所以今年的这个赛季的那个工作会比较忙碌一点点。我们也再次恭喜 MT 拿下了这一场比赛胜利 ，Congratulations！ 也谢谢 Oputo 接受我们的访问。我们在这边先休息一下。
Post-match interview from Oputo and highlighting some of the communication issues that we did speak a little bit about. So it's interesting that Oputo is sort of the middleman that does a little bit of the translations from the Thai players to the English players. But that's all going to be it now for Mega Thunder versus Hong Kong Attitude. 3-0 the scoreline for Mega Thunder, now sitting at 3-3, 1 win on the scoreboard. Up next is going to be Ardent from Korea versus Lebanon Supreme from Japan in a rematch from the OPC Season 2 qualifiers. And that's all going to happen right after this break.